vice versa. It's a good situation all the way around.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here on the Bob Sullivan Show. If you want to call in after the break, the number is 585-633-7487. You're listening to the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
And now is as good a time as any to take a Late Night Sports Radio score update. It's Monday Night Football, and the Dallas Cowboys leading the New York Giants 24-21. The Giants out to a quick start, and the Dallas Cowboys rolling right on back. Odell Beckham Jr. with an insane catch. Find it on Twitter or the internets, wherever it is, because it's just an amazing, unbelievable catch to watch. Earlier today, the Bears beat the Buccaneers 21-13. The Browns beating the Falcons 26-24. The Eagles over the Titans 43-24. The Patriots downing the Lions 34-9. The Packers edging the Vikings 24-21. The Colts over the Jaguars 23-3. The Bengals 22-13 over the Texans. The Seahawks 19-3 over the Cardinals. The Chargers 27, the Rams 24. The Broncos edging the Dolphins 39-36. The San Francisco 49ers beating the Washington Redskins 17-13. And don't forget about Thursday night's 24-20 Oakland Raiders victory, getting off the schneid. In the NBA, it's the end of the third quarter. The Lakers are up on the Denver Nuggets 75-72 at Staples Center. Earlier, the Memphis Grizzlies beat the LA Clippers 107-91. The Portland Trail Blazers beat the Boston Celtics 94-88. It was the Heat edging the Hornets 94-93. And the Warriors beating the Thunder 91-86. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week. So you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes. You could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000, another turned $2 into $10,000, and a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. This has been the Late Night Sports Radio Score Update. We now send it back to Bob Sullivan.
Jameson, back here with Jameson Welsh of Believe the Hype, NBA.com. Jameson, in the Western Conference, Grizzlies, Warriors, out on top. Looking at the Grizzlies right now, what is the one thing that has concerned you so far, about their style of play that might be a problem come playoff time?
Well, I mean, when it comes to the Grizzlies, it's always situations where can they score enough? Can they score enough from the outside, from the perimeter? Because of the playoff, everything slows down. Defense is bogged down and take away your first and second option. You got to have counters. You got to have other ways to beat teams. And if the Courtney Lees and the Vince Carters and even the guys like Conley are hitting their outside shots, or if they're struggling on the outside, you're going to be in trouble. Like, you're going to be in huge trouble because, they've always had a hard time scoring. They've always had their problems scoring. And if they don't get together, they're going to be struggling in the playoffs again. But they play teams so difficult. They play teams so well. They're the one team in the West that no one wants to face. Like, they're the one team that no one wants to face at all. And that's just something that, it's a style of play that people just don't want to go against. They grind you, especially at home. They grind you out. They make you play very uncomfortable with it, make you do things you really don't want to do. And, my thing is this. When it comes down to it, that team that I'd want to avoid, I wouldn't want to play them because, one, it's going to be a very bruising series. And if you get through that series, you're going to be dog-tired. Look at what happened to OKC last year. They got through Memphis. They went 7 games with Memphis, and they really should have lost that series. Once they got to the Clippers, they didn't have anything left for San Antonio. Like, that was part of the reason why they struggled with San Antonio. They just didn't have enough left.
Yeah, it was what did they have, like 4 straight overtime games against Memphis. They got bailed out in that, what was that, game 5 when Durant hit that three-pointer falling out of bounds. They had a lot of things go their way against Memphis. And that's the thing with Memphis is, they're going to grind you. Well, and then they didn't have Zebo for game 7 as well.
Right.
But you look at that with Memphis. I mean, they just grind you down. But at the end of the day, I mean, do they have do you think they need a wing guy or a Jamal Crawford type that can take the ball at the end of the game? Hit a big shot from time to time, because I don't feel like they have that type of guy that would have been able to put away OKC.
Well, it's not necessarily that, because that's never really been their issue in how you got in. Their thing is just being healthy and being able to be on the court at the same time. They've always had issues, whether it be guys that either get hurt for a long time or suspended or whatever it may be. Closing out games have never really been their issue, because they can go through Marcus Gasol to close out games. They can even go through Conley if they need to close out games. But it wouldn't hurt to have Jamal Crawford, but having a Jamal Crawford hurts them defensively. I don't think they're willing to make that kind of sacrifice. They're a team that's willing to grind you out and play defense first and figure out everything else later.
Looking at the Golden State Warriors, 9-2 early. Steve Kerr coming in, obviously a great an upgrade for coaching. Do you think a move is coming with an Andre Iguodala? Do you think they make a move late in the season with an Iguodala or Harrison Barnes, or do you think they stay pat with this roster?
Well, I think if they get rid of David Lee, they get rid of anyone, because they showed how everyone showed how what really goes on, man. This roster is interchangeable. They're 2 through 4 positions. When they go with Clay, Harrison Barnes, and Draymond Green, that's a crazy lineup that they can all defend pretty well. They can all do similar things on the court. So when they're playing, they can run, they can shoot, they can defend. It makes them very difficult to match up with. And they're a team that's just scratching the surface. I mean, of course, teams will adjust and they'll adapt and whatnot, but, man, when these guys are on and when Harrison Barnes has his confidence, when Harrison Barnes is a confident basketball player, he's a really good small forward. I'm not going to say he's an all-star, because he's not at this point in time, but when he's confident, he's able to, just play instead of think. Once he's playing, just playing basketball, he's a very good basketball player. He's like your 5th best player. It's a crazy thing to think about. And they have a good thing going. It all starts with Steph Curry, though. When Steph Curry is right, when he's healthy and he's playing the way he's playing, right now he's the MVP. I mean, I know it's really early, but if we had a month MVP ballot, he'd be my MVP this year. He's been amazing. He's led them. They just look great. And I think David Lee is the weakest link in that boat at this moment in time.
Do you see long-term any rift between Steph Curry and Klay Thompson over, who's the top dog on this team, so to speak? We saw it in, Cleveland. Kyrie and Deion Waiters is not gonna work out long term. But these two, they seem selfless enough. But do you ever see that becoming a problem with those two if either one's ego becomes a factor, or do you think they're just egoless, both of them?
No, I think they're too good of friends. Like, they're close. Like, I covered them at the USA camp out here. They're friends. Like, they're really close friends. They came out around the same time. They're really good friends. They're on good terms. I don't ever see that happening. It's just something that, you know what? It's one of those things to where, how can I say? It's just one of those things to where it's not that these guys will grow. I mean, these guys are going to be in the same backcourt for the next 5 to 8, possibly 10 years. So they're going to be fine. It's just the key for them. It just continue to get better and keep on getting each other better and improving their games. But these guys are going to be fine.
Dallas, with the Mavs right now, 10-4, seems like, the pieces are fitting correctly, with Chandler Parsons, with Tyson Chandler coming back, Nowitzki, those pieces seem to fit. And Monte Ellis, still, playing solid. With Dallas, do you think, we could talk about really all 8 teams that are current, other than maybe Phoenix. Yeah, I guess there's 7 teams that you could really talk about that have a legit shot at making the NBA Finals from the West, which is insane. Dallas, though, what have you liked so far from what you've seen from them, and what is a couple of concerns you do have?
Well, my thing is this. When it comes to Dallas, it comes down to how healthy is Dirk, because eventually he's the guy that you go through to close games out. And if he's not healthy, and if he's not the guy that we've known him to be, then I don't know how far they can go. I like Chandler Parsons, I like Monta Ellis, but I still have my doubts about how healthy their 2 most important guys are. And that's, when it comes down to it, Tyson Chandler and Dirk Nowitzki. Those are the 2 most important guys in that basketball team for various reasons. If those guys cannot stay healthy, they're not going to have a chance. If they do stay healthy, then they got a good shot. But, it's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I like, I like this team a lot. They play good defense. They're really solid on offense. I need to see a little bit more. I wouldn't put them in the upper echelon of the West just yet, because there are just certain teams that are better than them. I still think Golden State's better. I still think Memphis is better, and Spurs are better at this point in time.
Really quickly, Sacramento, New Orleans, Phoenix, those are the 3 kind of up-and-coming teams here in the West. Which one of those 3 do you see making the playoffs? Because I think, the Clippers are in the 8th seed right now, but I think it's pretty understood they'll make the playoffs. It's just a battle between Phoenix, Sacramento, and New Orleans who's going to get that 8th spot. Which one of those 3 do you like right now, and which one do you think has the longest staying power for being solid enough to make the playoffs in the West?
Well, the Clippers still have 2 all-star players. We can't forget that. So we have 2 all-star players. Euros going to be in good shape, even though their players aren't playing at this rate right now. There's some issues. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about just yet. Eventually we'll figure it out. We'll find out. But at this point in time, their guys aren't playing at the highest level that they can. There's some issues with the team. But I still like the Clippers. The Pelicans are very surprising. You can make an argument, top 3 player in the league on their team, Anthony Davis. Some people call him the number 2 player in the league. But he's playing amazing right now. And you know what? It's going to sound crazy, but I like the Kings. I really like the Kings. They play. Everyone's bought in. They play hard every night. The defense has been solid. They play hard at home, and that's always a good thing for a young team. Whenever you have a young team, you want that team to have a home advantage. It seems like they have that. It's a very weird situation, but I like the Kings. I really do. They have 2 guys that can get you 25, 80 a night. They got 2 guys that require a double team. I still think they need a little bit more outside shooting, but if Ben McLemore, a guy who I didn't think would stick on this team, I thought he'd be one of the first guys out there. If he can become a consistent force for them, watch out, because he can play. It's just by him being consistent. But they have I like a lot of their pieces. They need to play like I Ray McCollum more, but they got a lot of pieces. I like Sacramento a lot. They're a piece away from being a real contender, but I like what they bring to the table thus far.
With the Clippers, do you maybe a year ago, like in the off season, I think it was before Doc came in, there was the rumor of Blake and DeAndre were not happy. They didn't like Chris Paul. They thought, they didn't get along with him, which is beyond me, because Chris Paul has essentially, made those 2 guys what they are right now. But do you think that that's the rift right now? Is those 2 against Chris Paul again? That starting to boil a little bit again?
Well, I don't know if it's that. I really don't know if it's particularly that. My whole thing is this, man. They don't have an NBA caliber small forward. Like, they don't have a small forward that's NBA caliber small forward on their roster right now. They're having to play Jamal Crawford way too many minutes at that position. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think Chris Paul has lost a step. He's still a great player, but he has lost a step. He's a guy that he's been really, really good, but he's not as great as he once was. He's not that superhuman point guard that he once was. Also, Blake Griffin, from what I've heard, he was doing, backflips and stuff off the, he's, doing, skydiving, not skydiving, but, doing like backflips off of like rocks and stuff into the ocean right before training camp, and his back is messed up.